Hey Sweaties. This very special opening sequence of Sweaty Nerds is brought to you by Pluto, the former 9th planet of our solar system. Pluto still orbits the sun like a planet. I guess it's now called a planetoid, but it's made completely of ice, yet for some reason it doesn't exist anymore. Well, I say Pluto says you don't exist, because try flying through Pluto. I think you'd just explode into a bunch of ice crystals and be dead after encountering the planet called Pluto. I think it still counts as a planet, so I'm all for Pluto. Never forget, Pluto! Hey, welcome to another episode of Sweaty Nerds. This week, we're going to talk about Alien, the sci-fi horror classic directed by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver. We're going to cover the RPG video game Mass Effect, an incredible series. We're going to cover Grant Morrison, a comic book icon, the writer, the legend, Grant Morrison, one of the best writers currently working today in the comic book biz. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you don't know, one day you just might wake up and you just got podded. Get ready to get podded on today's episode of Sweaty Nerds. Hey everyone, welcome to Sweaty Special Effects Nerds. I'm Jon Schnepp. I'm here with Cig Neutron, master of special effects and prosthetics and a good pal. What's up, Cig?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, I'm happy you could be here. Today, we are going to talk about one of the all-time big monster movies. We're going to talk about Alien. So Alien's a movie that came out in 1979. My parents were awesome enough to take me to see it as a little kid, and I had nightmares for weeks. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Mom and Dad, because it helped me become the person who I am today. I love monsters and aliens. And this is the big papa, Alien. So let's talk about Alien, Cig. Give us some info about Alien.
Yeah, well, I mean, the overall design was based on H.R. Giger's artwork. It's very, like, biomechanical, and, I mean, he pretty much started the whole biomechanical thing, and it's been, like, regurgitated and everything. So, I mean, like, the look of these aliens were, like, at the time, it was, like, so original and crazy.
Yeah, it was like a combination of like robots and steam. Like steampunk didn't exist yet either, but it's like, yeah, it's alive, but is it a machine? It's both. It's an insect, but then if you peel that open, there's a gear inside of it. It's like, it informed everything from Guillermo del Toro to like what else? Pretty much every alien that's come since.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so cool because it mixes like hard edges and like inorganic lines with organic lines and like skeletal vertebrae and stuff. Like I love it. I love biomech stuff.
And this is before they had computer graphics kind of taking over everything. So this is your old school Godzilla man in suit kind of a deal. It's a guy, this very thin, extra tall guy, by the way, is wrapped inside of that alien suit, you know, sweating his balls off, you know, wrapped in rubber. Yeah. So it's like, that's a tough job to be Alien.
People don't realize how crazy, like, labor intensive being a creature suit actor is. I mean, you're in this stuff for like 10, 15 hours a day, and it's not cool, and it's hot, and you know, it's got I mean, look at that giant head. Like, that thing, you have to act in it and hit your mark in this stuff. Like, it's a tough job.
And people forget you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep. People forget you're even a person.
This
They're
is
like,
true.
there's the alien. I'm dying inside of here. Like, air conditioning. No. Continue sweating. So, you wanted to add something about the alien?
Yeah, so Giger actually sculpted a lot of the parts for the body and used like actual bone pieces and mixed them with like tubing and stuff. And someone else, Carlo Rambaldi, he actually created the head separately based on Giger's designs. And it had over 900 working parts to like do the jaw and the inner everything. Yeah. Like,
I remember an earlier, I remember when I was a kid, that it actually had a human skull inside of that clear dome, but it just stretched out.
And then some of the designs in later films and stuff, they kind of bring that back. Like, if you can kind of see it in there. Like, but yeah.
Right, some films minimized it, some films brought it back. Yeah, and Carlos Rambaldi is another amazing special effects artist. Possession, Dune, I mean, the whole bunch of them. Crazy, crazy cool. So let's go on to one of the most famous scenes in horror or cinematic history, the chestburster scene. Let's talk about this horrific scene.
Yeah, well, the original design that Giger did, it was based off a Francis Bacon painting, and it looked like a weird plucked chicken or something. I mean, it was creepy, but you know, the directors and they didn't really care for it, so they kept redesigning and making it more streamlined. And yeah, then they came up with probably one of the most iconic monsters in cinema.
Yeah, it looks like a giant bloody penis with teeth.
Yep.
Can we talk about you know, the actors and this, like, how were they prepared for this horrific scene?
Yeah, so basically they have the actor who is bursting through his chest. He's actually they have his real body under the table, and they have a fake foam body that goes out, like, you know, if I was being back here, and so someone was underneath it, and they actually. It was on a stick, and they pushed up. The actors that were doing the scene, they actually had no idea that blood and viscera was going to like burst out of there. So the reactions that you're seeing are like true to life reactions. I think one of the actresses actually fell over and like like almost fainted because like I mean
it was probably Cartwright. She couldn't handle it.
So, and then they actually had like a slit in the table. So once it comes out, the guy runs underneath the table, and that's how it.
Wow, really amazing. I mean, yeah, if you've never seen Francis Bacon's paintings, check them out. Just Google him and look at some real life amazing horror done hundreds of years ago. It'll give you nightmares. So let's talk about the facehugger. Now that, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the most grotesque and horrifying creatures ever designed. Can you just, I mean, let's say what it is. It's basically two hands and a sack of balls with a penis that goes down your throat and forces you.
A penis that comes out of a vagina.
Yeah, a penis that comes out of a vagina that impregnates your throat. Let's just say that's what it is.
I think the creepiest thing about that is the finger hands. Like if you, like a lot of people don't realize it, but if you see, they have little fingernails on each little. Like that's
yeah, with the knuckles. Remember, they're like kind of razoring the knuckles, and acid comes out.
No,
stuff of nightmares. That's why we love Alien, and that'll do it for our special effects Sweaty Nerds special segment. And thanks again, Cig. Where can people find you, Cig?
Well, I mean, so I do a lot of collaborations with Randy Rodill. You can find us on bizarroagogo.com. It's BIZARR. AUGOGO.com.
Right on.
I make silly hats and soaps and all kinds of fun stuff.
Well, awesome. Check out his website and buy some of his soaps. And I'll see you guys next time. Hey, welcome to another episode of Sweaty Video Game Nerds. I'm Jon Schnepp, and sitting next to me is Maude Garrett.
And I'm going to convince you why Mass Effect is a game that's probably your most favorite game that you've never played.
Hey, I started it. Remember, I started playing Mass Effect, and I got beamed down to this planet, and these weird kind of creatures floated up, and the gameplay was, I just couldn't get into the change up on the controls, so I moved on to another game. So you're going to tell me that was the worst mistake
you
I've
ever
done.
made.
Tell me why.
Okay, so you know how you love Dungeons and Dragons, you love these particular games, you love Knights of the Old Republic. This is the sci-fi version if Star Wars wasn't the law. So basically you're Shep, this is Commander Shepard, and you control the Normandy, and you have RPG elements. So you can either use, you know, a lot of melee attacks, or you can use your guns and be like a specialist in that kind of thing, or you can use what's kind of like the mage abilities, but you've got this piece on your arm that can send force waves and shocks and things like that. So you've got RPG elements with your character, and then you also get to select your team. Now these are alien races from across the galaxy, which you are trying to save, by the way, and they all have their different abilities, so you make up your ultimate team. You travel to completely different worlds. You are a Spectre, the only Spectre in the world, which grants you knowledge and access of everything, and you were trying to beat down these things. So should you have gotten past that, this is probably one of the best trilogies in the world, especially if you love sci-fi. Now Mass Effect 2 is the best of the franchise. 3 had separate endings. There's supposed to be about 8 or 16 of them, but really it kind of felt like it was only 1 or 3 it can be piled down into. I pressed too many buttons so fast just wanting to finish the game that I couldn't even tell you what happened.
Wow.
Except that I had the best time.
I think you might have convinced me just by comparing it to Knights of the Old Republic. Is that kind of like when you get your own team and you select your team and you go to different planets? That was my favorite part of any kind of RPG experience I've had.
But this is still quite an FPS, so the experience that you have is a lot of combat. But I'm not an FPS fan. I loved this game. The soundtrack's amazing. Shep is your fully customizable character. I played Fem Shep. Your name is Schnepp. Can you see why you should be playing this game? It makes sense.
I think Schnepp will be playing Mass Effect soon.
Commander Schneppard.
Hey. Oh, Maude, where can people find you online?
If you want to find me on social media, just search Maude Garrett. If you want to get involved with Geek Bomb, which is my geeky outlet, it's geekbomb.net.
And thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to be checking out Mass Effect, I swear to God. Probably talk to me in April. of this year, and I'll be talking to you about Mass Effect 2 and how much I loved it. Or I killed myself. One of the two things. Pretty happy, huh? Sweaty video game nerds, I'll see you later. Hey, welcome back to another Sweaty Sci Fi Nerds. I'm Jon Schnepp, and right across there is Chris Gore, founder of Film Threat, G4. You've seen him all around. Welcome back, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, today we are going to talk about not only one, not two, but three, possibly four versions of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you've never seen it, there was a 1956 version with Kevin McCarthy. There was a 1979 version with Donald Sutherland,
yeah.
And a really horrifying, creepy scene with a dog and an old bum's face on it, licking, running around. I just from the get-go, let's talk about it. What are your favorite scenes from that?
Well, I think the reason that all of those versions, just keep getting remade is it's such a great story. It really is about first you feel like you know someone, then you feel like you don't know who this person is, even though you've known them for so long. And that's a theme that, of course, you may have experienced in your real personal life,
right.
And that's what the film expands upon. Like, people are going through these massive changes. What you find out later is, it's an alien invasion!
Right, it's just not that, you're not in love with them anymore. It's like, it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers is like, you're not the person I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Or it's like a family member, like, you've changed, well, yes, in this, you've really changed.
Yeah, in this, you find out they're pod people.
Yes.
Which is awesome. But there's various and different versions. I mean, the Kevin McCarthy version, the original one from the 50s, is, it still has the concept of the pod people. It's not quite as grotesque. I would say that the one with Donald Sutherland, that version is probably the most grotesque version. And for me, probably the most frightening version.
Yeah.
That's the one that,
Ooh, yeah.
The screams, just that whole, it's freakish.
Yeah, it really is truly about total conformity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you're not going to conform, you're getting absorbed.
It's one of those, because we live in an age of reboots now and movies constantly being redone. I'd actually really like to see this movie be redone, because it really is a reflection of the time period in which it's made. They should just remake Invasion of the Body Snatchers like every decade.
It's high time. Abel Ferrara did one just called Body Snatchers, which took place on a military base, which has a lot of really cool, fun sequences in it. And then there was a later one that was done with Nicole Kidman. I think it was just called maybe it was called The Invasion or something like that. And I never saw that one. But it's high time for the fifth version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And we'll be seeing that soon, I'm sure. Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me at chrisgore.com or on Twitter at @thatchrisgore. And
I'm Jon Schnepp. Thanks again for tuning into Sweaty Sci Fi Nerds. That's being potted. Hey, welcome back to another Sweaty Comic Book Nerds. I'm Jon Schnepp. Sitting across from me is Comic Book Girl 19.
Hello.
Today, we are going to talk about the maestro of madness, Grant Morrison. He brings so much amazing, playful, freaky mind games to the superhero genre. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about what's one of your favorite Grant Morrison runs on comic books.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite Grant Morrison comic books is one that's recently been made available again. Flex Mentallo, the Man of Muscle Mystery. This one is such a fun and bizarre, weird satire on the Muscle Man, Atlas Man from comic books.
98-pound weakling, sand in the face.
And taking that character and turning him into this weird metaphysical hero. Grant Morrison is a chaos magician. He's into the occult and things like that. And this Flex Mentallo really talks about a lot of his beliefs, and it's just he just brings a new level of weirdness to comic books that I can't get enough of.
I agree. I mean, he's the king of the insane, bringing the mythos back and reinterpreting it. The way he took Doom Patrol and made it a comic book that I wanted to read is really this is saying a lot to take, and not to say too much about like the earlier Doom Patrols, but he just took it and turned it on its side. He just turned it completely upside down and made it an issue after issue, pulse-pounding adventure of freaky insanity. And you would not think about that, like, oh, the Doom Patrol, he just put it and flipped it completely around, then went on to make the Invisibles, which I think is one of my all-time favorites. So. I mean, when he started launching into like doing his takes on Batman and Superman, just his take on the mythology and making it so playful, like he remembers that a comic is a comic, and that's awesome. And he brings that level of playfulness, even though it's crazy and weird. he remembers to remember who the characters are.
I really liked in his book Super Gods, and he's talking about comic book writing and about how you can be an anthropologist or you can be a missionary. And that he takes the anthropological thing where he goes into their world and has fun with the ideas of superheroes and not trying to bring superheroes to our world, which I really enjoy a lot. I feel like nowadays a lot of people are very trying to make things serious and realistic, and you know, I don't always want to see that. So I like having some weird, far-out adventures with superheroes.
What's your take on his All-Star Superman and his take on the brand new 52 Superman, where he actually kind of went back and like had Superman in jeans, like the early Superman?
Yeah, I mean, Grant Morrison is responsible for making me love characters that I did not like beforehand, and Superman is one of them. All-Star Superman is just an achievement. It's just the best distillation of what Superman is. I loved that so much. I love his take on Batman. I love Damian, the son of Batman. Oh, he's so good. I love what he did on X-Men and making me love Cyclops. And I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do with Wonder Woman, because that's another character that I don't really love. But reading his take, I know that I will come to respect her after reading what he has to say about it.
Definitely. Grant Morrison, keep doing what you do, because it's awesome. We love you. Where can we find you online, Comic Book Girl 19?
You can find me on my web show, the Comic Book Girl 19 show, on YouTube, on my channel of the same name.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm Jon Schnepp, and come back and visit us again at Sweaty Comic Book Nerds. Hey, if you're not getting sweaty, you should be getting sweaty right now by clicking on these links: special effects, video games, sci-fi movies, and the comic books. We're providing you links about everything we just talked about in the episode, plus more. So click on those links, get sweaty, get playing, get watching. Let's get sweaty. Let's get sweaty. For more awesome shows like this one, subscribe to theStream.tv.